Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now.
Oh, it's good to be back. We had a couple of stints elsewhere. Ooh. My F1 journey began back in this past June, and you know what the first domino was? And while some say F1 Movies fans' first race was Austria,
I beg to differ.
There's no way most of the watchers tuned in that Sunday. Unless you watched it early. I watched it early. Then F1 as a whole sort of simmers into your brain and you just need more. So after watching the movie and it becoming my favorite so far, Mario Supreme is right around the corner, the second domino was following the official Twitter X page and catching those live updates every race weekend. I started Googling the standings, followed the Instagram, which is not too different than X. Take two, received a phone call after recording the whole video, and I gotta record it again. So they had their summer break, and Max started coming back like crazy. And it wasn't until Mexico that I finally started paying attention. I had the lap-by-lap live updates on the F1 website on my computer, not the phone. I had caffeine, the updates roll in hot, and I was amped up. 2 weeks later, Brazil. This time, I kept toggling between the live rankings and lap by lap, going absolutely insane. Earlier in the summer, I had told literally the only person I actively speak to that likes F1 that I think McLaren has won almost every race since I started paying attention. Then Oscar lost his lead, Lando came up, Max turned on his stat pin, and by this point, after Sao Paulo, George Russell was no longer in the running for the championship. Leaving 3 folks left in 3 races, I felt the utmost clenching. Alright, Vegas weekend. My friend provided her F1 TV account. I had thought about going out to see the race at some bar for the last 2 months and was saved. And well, long story short, while I had rooted for Max's comeback and was initially drawn to Oscar's fewer years in the sport, dominating like crazy, I was ultimately drawn to Lando. I don't know why. Outside of Lewis Hamilton and Max, I've only bothered looking into him. I guess it's the draw of being a top contender. So I'm rooting for the landmine, and although this is my first race live, I am the king of highlights. I'm talking the F1 channel and the ESPN F1 20-minute highlight videos. All right? I know a thing or two. So when Lando was slowing down on the last lap and the gap between him and Max widened, asked whether he should overtake or use DRS.
You want me DRS or try to overtake?
Overtake him. We're gonna go get Max.
And looked awkward and sad after winning. It all made sense. That 42-point gap felt great with 2 races left, but you know, 24-point gap, 2 races, still manageable, but with Max on the comeback, one can't unclench. All right. A week later, Qatar. Oscar, Lando, Max. Awesome. We got this meme going on, but don't worry, as long as the pace is there, easy. Lord, what a boring race at first. When that safety car came out and everyone pitted, I was a bit confused. I'm like, why? Don't you want to gain position? But it made sense to get the one of 2 pit requirements out the way. I don't know if me rushing the lines out makes this for a worse video or a more chaotic video. And as the race went on, I realized this was either going to be an Oscar or a Max win. I mean, it was clear as day. Depending on who pits last, the other wins. Oscar leads when Max pits, Max leads when Oscar pits. And when it was clear Max would be in the lead, I shifted my focus. By this equation, Lando would be in 2nd or 3rd, but that didn't happen. My man was in 5th, inching towards Kimi like. I was squirming watching the interval drop from 3.5 seconds down to a half second, then back to a second. And then there were like 2 laps left. Italian Stallion slid a bit. Lando overtook, got 4th, and scored an extra 2 points, leaving some breathing for Abu Dhabi. So Max qualified in 1st, which told me he was gonna win the race like automatically. I'm not sure why they had Oscar stay out for so long where he had a massive time gap and it hit a point where Max just caught up. Oscar pits and then Max had the massive time gap. Either way, I love the aggression from Max as soon as the race started.
It's lights out and away we go. Verstappen comes right over to cover Lando. Norris leaves a gap for Piastri if he wants it. Norris trying to jockey his way past.
And Lando won. He cried. He gave love to Oscar throughout multiple points. And while this is what I wanted, I can't help but think of how bittersweet it all is. The 2 other contenders could have taken this championship home, and looking back at the season, there are just so many timelines where if this didn't happen, or if that didn't occur, or if there was one more race. It can't be like this every season, right? When only 2 racers are competing, or if the championship is dominated and won earlier before the last race.
Oh, God.
I might be rambling now, so that's all from me. Keeping it semi-short today. I didn't realize I actually tuned in for half the season, but it still felt incomplete as I didn't really lock in until the last few. Can't wait for the preseason stuff starting in January and to catch my first full season in 2026. I don't know if I'll make another F1 video, but who knows. I say I talk about movies, but I haven't made a movie video in like half a year. I don't know. I'll put on the screen. Love what you like. Protect your energy. And here's to weekly releases again.
Appreciate the words. Thank you so much, man.